How's it going, guys? Here are some brief highlights of my weekend before, during, and after Mogamecon 2022. Hope you enjoy it. So the weekend started Friday afternoon around 4 o'clock. That's when they allow the vendors to set up and check out the layout. Now, not everyone does, but I always take advantage of it because I typically have quite a bit of stuff. So here I am running back in because I forgot something. There you can see my buddy Jared's table. There's Gaming Off the Grid's table. And finally, my two tables, which are almost already full, and that's only half of my stuff. Up there you can see where they're going to have the panel rooms, the cosplay contest, and the content creators lounge. Yeah, forgot my Got G beer glass. Next, we headed to Two Plumbers Brewery and Arcade, and I was super excited to play the new Halloween pinball, but a guy I was watching play it actually broke it. No! Fortunately, there were plenty of other machines and arcades to play, my favorites being the Stranger Things and the Super Mario Bros. Pinball. And what do you know, they actually fixed the Halloween, so I finally got a chance to check it out. By then, some other content creators started to show up. There's Tom and Lacey from Do You Nerd playing Outrun 2, one of my favorite arcade racing games ever. And there's Wes from Gaming Off the Grid having a little too much fun with his quarter dispenser. The next morning, I woke up after very little sleep and headed back up to do my final setup.
First one's here.
This is around 9 o'clock, 30 minutes before VIPs are let in, and I'm still not done setting up. Things are starting to come together, but you can see stuff is still very unorganized on that right side of the table. Thankfully, with the help of the awesome crew I shared space with that day, I was able to get done right before the doors open. Here's a look at the VIP crowd shortly after they were let in at 9:30. If you look through those shelves, you can see Retro Mikey 78, Jared, and Robert. Here are three items you rarely see sit next to each other. Here's a Panasonic 3DO, a black Sega Dreamcast, and a black Game Boy Micro. And I gotta say, there was no shortage of rare items for sale. However, I had a conversation with Captain Algebra, who was looking for a complete copy of Musha, and he walked the entire floor multiple times and never found one, which I thought was very surprising. And this has to be one of the nicest action set boxes in existence. $2,400 for a complete copy of Earthbound. Yeah, sure, no problem. This guy not only had one complete copy of Earthbound, but two!
You fucking kidding me?
I really wish I had some of the organizational skills of some of these people. Check out this table. They had all these mini poster prints of all these great video games, and the resolution was just fantastic. The colors really popped. They even had some that were lenticular. I really like this Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Bros. 1. Very, very cool. One of the things I do regret was the fact that I didn't get enough time to walk around and look at things after I had set up, because I barely made it in time. You know, there were some games I were looking for, 3 in particular. I didn't see them when I had a few minutes to walk the floor, but it's very possible that they were there and I just missed them and somebody already bought them. And here we got some of the coolest Perler Bee designs that you're ever going to see. I have fond memories of the Atari 2600, so it's always nice to see it introduced to a whole nother generation of people. Here we are back at Gaming Off the Grid's table, and look what we got here, a Sega Nomad. Wow. They also had a killer Modern Warfare 3 Xbox 360. So you were thinking about getting an Atari Jaguar. Well, this one could be yours for a measly $360. I love seeing these old NES game storage cases. And here's where all the tournaments were held. I think I saw Mr. Rightway holding up a title belt that he won when he beat Cool Toy in the final round of the WCW NWO Revenge tournament. This guy got creative and brought an old Hollywood video display shelf to show off all his items. At 3:45, I was scheduled to be in a YouTubers vs. Twitch streamers Jeopardy match with my teammates Retro Tony and Billy from Hey Dad Let's Play. And obviously, YouTube won. Special thanks to Helen and her husband from the YouTube channel Game & Browse for putting that together. I cannot wait to defend next year. So at this point, it's about 5 o'clock and it's time to pack up. And obviously all of my stuff did not sell, but I did nearly double my total from last year. And everything that is left over is very good stuff that I can either save for the next con or sell locally or online. Later on that evening, I headed over to the Airbnb that Gaming Off the Grid was sharing with Do You Nerd, Captain Algebra, 8-Bit Glitch 79, Waves and Games, and the Old Ass Retro Gamer. Then the 100 White Castles arrived, which have now somewhat become a tradition.
Whoa. Let's do this together. It was the best meal of my life.
Not quite, but I did manage to pull my weight and down 8 before I tapped out. After that, we split up into groups. Some guys were playing some 6-player Saturn Bomberman and the other Tiger Woods. The next morning, Retro Mikey 78 stopped by and brought 8-Bit Glitch 79 over to my house. Sean is somebody who I've talked to and messaged for quite a few years now, and to actually finally meet him in person and have him over to my house for 3 hours, chatting and playing games, was a real treat. We played some Dreamcast, some virtual pinball, and as you can see here is some old school Pong on original hardware where I showed both of them zero mercy. One of the things I noticed after the weekend was over was the lack of footage that I took, but then I thought about it and I realized that was probably a good thing because that meant that I was too busy selling things, chatting with folks, and making new friends and hanging with people who came in from out of town that I rarely get to see, and just making new memories. And sometimes we get so caught up in getting the perfect shot or selfie, we forget to actually experience things, and breaking out a camera kind of loses the genuineness of it all, and the whole thing becomes less organic. Now at this time I wanted to thank some people that I spent 9 hours with in the trenches that had my back no matter what. People like Gaming Off the Grid, Jared Pratt, Retro Mikey 78, and one of my best friends from high school, Scott. Whether it was borrowing a dolly or covering my table while I take a piss or getting advice on game prices, all of these people stepped up and I couldn't be more thankful. And lastly, I wanted to thank the organizers, especially Charlie Shaw and anyone who took the time to stop by my table and buy something or just mention my channel and start a conversation. None of this would have been possible without the help of all of these people. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed these brief highlights of my weekend at Mogamecon 2022. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up and make sure notifications are on so you'll know when I upload new videos like this one. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It really helps out. Alright guys, I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for watching.